Hello, everyone. How's it going? It's me, Victoria Baxter of the Saved and Single Ministry and New Thing Life Coaching, and it's a Saturday, so it's time for the Sassy Saturday Special. I know we are overdue. I know it's been a while since I've done the video or podcast for this, but nevertheless, here we are. So here's something that I've been getting questioned. When is it the appropriate time or the right time to tell a man that you are abstinent? Whether you're a virgin, whether you're abstinent, I know we kind of use celibate a little bit interchangeably or whatever the case might be. But that is a question that a lot of women have asked before. Whether it's in the private group, I've gotten emails, coaching sessions. I know it's even just a general question. Some people are wanting to know, when do you tell a guy that? So let's look at a couple of things first. First of all, exactly what is dating? Because I'm going to just title this Dating While Abstinent. So first of all, what is dating? So we know that dating is pretty much saying that you are going on dates with someone. I know we talk about date with a purpose and date intentionally, but again, you're dating when it's a little bit more serious when it's you and this guy and y'all are continuously dating before you get to the next stage. I know we like to try to argue about dating versus courting, and one is biblical and the other isn't. Neither one is actually in the Bible, but there is a way to keep God at the center of both of them. There is a way to do both in the right manner or the right fashion. So if we want to, our fashion, so we want to be technical, we can just say that dating is now a new step or a step in the courting process. Dating, it's a little bit more casual, relaxed, and laid back. Courting is when it's saying, okay, we are intentionally, whether it's saying committed or whatever, we are now intentionally pursuing each other and yeah, eventually, engagement, marriage, the whole nine. So dating, it's really not that serious. Again, you can meet someone, y'all can go on maybe like a couple of dates, but you might still be dating other people. He might still be dating other people. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Something else to consider, why are you abstinent or why are you a virgin? And I say that because, are you doing it temporarily? Are you waiting until you meet someone where you are in a committed relationship? Are you waiting until you're engaged? Or are you saying, no, sex is off the table until I am married? So know what your boundaries are, know your reason for being abstinent or a virgin, and keep those things in the forefront. So what is dating, and know why you are dating. We say date with a purpose and have intentions. Know what your intentions are. Are you just looking to meet someone? Are you just bored and you're just trying to test the waters? Or are you saying, hey, I am waiting for my husband? So what is dating and why are you doing it? Why are you withholding sex? And I say withholding. 3, when to tell. This is what a lot of people want to know. So we're going to skip over that. First, I want to know, what are you hoping to accomplish by telling them? Because if your thing is, hey, when is the right time to tell? Like, I don't want to run someone off, or I want to know if I'm wasting my time, whatever else the case might be. What are you hoping to accomplish by telling a man that you are a virgin or abstinent? And I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but you have to think about it. With me, when I actually became abstinent, I'll just say this to try to explain what I'm talking about. When I became abstinent, I knew sex was wrong. I knew premarital sex was wrong. And I think it was me wanting to honor God with my body. Absolutely. It was me wanting to do things the right way. Yes. However, I realized that for me, just me speaking, I was using sex to get love. I'm one of those people, like, I don't really, sex is not that big of a deal for me. Like, and now at this point, it's been almost 3 years that I have not had sex at all. So for me, it doesn't really bother me to not have sex. And when I was, sexually active, I was really doing it because I didn't want a man to not be with me because sex was off the table. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things where it was like, oh, if I don't have sex, he might leave, or who's actually going to wait, all of these different things. I had to realize that I was having sex for the wrong reasons, and I was praying and asking God for a husband, but yet I was continuously giving my body away to men that didn't care about me, in that sense or whatever. So I knew for me, sex had to come off the table. And I said, I'm sick of having sex with men that are not my husband, and these men I'm not even in a committed relationship with. I want to wait until I'm married. That's just going to be that. And I did waver a little bit, and I was like, do I want to wait until I'm married, or do I just want to wait until I'm in a committed relationship? Because again, I had to be honest with myself and realize that the past several guys that I had had sex with, I was not in a committed relationship with none of them. It was more so casually dating. And honestly, some of them hadn't even taken me on a date. So that was my reason for taking sex off the table. And it was also wanting to honor God and things like that. Yes. Then I had to get to that point and say, no, I am not having sex again until I'm married. So I now know my why I'm abstinent, what my time frame is, which is marriage. I know what dating is. So what do I hope to accomplish by telling men? Initially, when I became abstinent, I didn't want to be in a position where I was wasting anyone's time, or I didn't want anyone wasting my time either. So I would let them know immediately, hey, I'm abstinent. I'm abstinent. Like I even have the ring on and everything. When guys would ask about it, or oh, you're in get, I'm like, nope, this is me saying I'm abstinent. So no sex. Hey, can I get your number? As long as you know I'm not having sex. Yes, it eliminated a lot of men. I think at the same time, it can send the wrong message if you feel as if you need to put it out there immediately. And honestly, what I have learned from men is that it's not even so much knowing that sex is off the table. It's knowing it's the act of a woman feeling as if they need to disclose that immediately, because most men, they're not even so much afraid of, oh my gosh, I'm not having sex. Their main concern ends up being, okay, so she's immediately thinking about marriage. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense or not, but that's what a lot of men are thinking when they hear that, before they even can have your phone number or on the very first phone conversation. That scares them more than anything. Now, when I did the Getting It On dating experiment that I've talked about before, and I even put the results in the Getting It On ebook, newthinglifecoaching.com, click on shop. In the Getting It On ebook, it's about dating and courting in the 21st century for Christian women. How to date, what is courting, the history of it all, how to do it as a Christian woman, and all the questions that I asked those men, over like the past year. All of those results are in that book as well. It's an awesome book. It also even has like in the back, emergency help when you're on a date, conversation starters, all of these different things. So when I asked all of those men, hey, say you're dating a woman and she tells you that she's abstinent or a virgin, what is your response going to be? Are you going to stop talking to her or what? Almost all of them, the first thing that came out of their mouth was, when does she tell me this? Is it on the first date or what? And I was like, well, I don't even have that question here, but now let's play different scenarios. What if it is the first date? What if it isn't? So their whole thing is like, if it comes off, she says it on the first date, that's a little weird. But when I told them, I was like, just say it comes up at any point. Maybe say that y'all have been dating for a while, y'all have been talking, whatever else the case might be. And then she brings it up and she lets you know that she doesn't want to have sex. What is your response? Do you stop talking to her? Not one of those men, and some of them who are married, some are single, some are dating, some, different relationship statuses, different races, different ages, all of these different things. Not one of them said that they would stop talking to a woman if they found out that the woman was not having sex with them. It was interesting that their first question was, when is she telling me this information? So I say all that to say, what do you hope to accomplish by telling? Is it to say, hey, well, I want to tell them immediately so that I'm not, we're not wasting each other's time? Keep in mind that all of these men are saying, hey, hearing it up front, that's more scary than knowing that sex is not an option. But there are men out here who are also waiting for their wives, wanting to get married. And while, yeah, a lot of these godly men, and some are in the church, some aren't, some are virgins, some aren't, whatever else, and some might be practicing abstinence, some aren't. When you meet a woman, and again, when we look at the whole, now this is where we can truly bring that overused scripture into play, he who finds a wife. A man will know if he is in the presence of a woman where it's like, hey, this is somebody I can't afford to lose. And I know we can debate on whether or not a man has to already be ready or if he'll get ready for the right one. A lot of times, not always, but you're going to have some men who are saying, I know a good woman when I see one. This right here is a wife. This isn't somebody I'm going to play over and string along or whatever else. There are going to be some men who are going to say, hey, I will get right for this one. I will actually be willing to take sex off the table for this one. There are so many different things that will come into play depending on who you're dealing with. Now, let me also say, as I get ready to close this up, we need to use discernment, and not even just discernment. You have wisdom. A lot of times, if we're honest, we can tell if someone uh, is intentionally pursuing us. We can oftentimes tell if this person just wants us for sex, if sex is someplace on their mind or whatever else. So now in that case, then you might decide, hey, as soon as that first inappropriate comment, touch, conversation, or whatever comes up, then yeah, that might be a good time to let them know, well, hey, good thing I'm not having sex. Because if someone is bringing it up that early, and in that case, okay, boom, hey, let me go ahead and let you know what time it is or what time it isn't, and just let that be that. But if you have someone who is reaching out to you, communicating, all of this other good stuff, you know, you're going on dates and you're spending time, if you've had all these different discussions, enjoy it. Enjoy it and just let that be that. And don't think that, okay, do I need to hurry up and tell him? Y'all already know my story. I've spoken about it before. I was seeing that guy and I did not tell him my secret. I held it from him. And when I did finally tell him a couple of months later, that is what ultimately ruined, I say, you know, ruined, but that's why we stopped talking, because sex wasn't an option. Now, what I will also say is, for a while, I felt I was mad at myself because I did not disclose it immediately as I had done with men before. But I can no longer use that as the reason why things ended between us. I even spoke about him in the crash course, Red Flags, and I'm not even going into all that. If you're interested, newthinglifecoaching.com, click on the arsenal. There's a Red Flags crash course. There were some other red flags there that already kind of showed me a little bit of what he was probably going to be interested in. And there was a time that he'd even asked me, like, hey, you're not, you know, like, you're not one of those people that's like, you know, not having sex till marriage or something like that, are you? And I was like, oh, no. You know, I mean, yeah, I take sex seriously, but no, I'm not. So I had already lied about it. There were already some other red flags, you know, and stuff like that. So in that case, whatever. When he did finally find out, at first he was like, okay, I can wait. And then both of us were just kind of like, you know, this isn't working. It's whatever the case might be. So I no longer am going to say, oh, I need to tell a man upfront so I never have to go through that again. No, there were so many other factors to consider as far as that whole thing. So dating while abstinent, have fun, know why you're dating, know what dating truly is, know your reason on being abstinent, be firm, have your boundaries and stuff like that in place as well. Because that's another thing. If you know that you're abstinent, if you know that sex is not an option at all or until whatever, do not have yourself in certain positions and situations where you can end up being tempted, you know, and things to that nature. So those you got to be very mindful of. When to tell, it's all based on what do you hope to accomplish by telling them. And only you can make that decision on when the right time is to tell. It's just keeping in mind that you have these men who are saying, hey, finding out down the line, and if I'm really feeling her, no, it's not going to make me leave. It's not going to make me stop talking to her. It's not going to make me not want to date her anymore. I think more than anything, instead of being so focused on the whole when to tell, I think eventually, even though again, this might sound like a contradiction, so help me or help just try to understand what I'm trying to say. I know I said earlier that the concern for a man would end up being if she's mentioning it early on, they're thinking, oh, okay, so she's immediately thinking about marriage or long term or whatever else. That can be scary when you just meet someone. However, on the flip side, I think instead of you being more concerned about when to tell a man that you're sexless in Seattle, before even worrying about that, you need to find out what his intention is for dating. Does he have the same goals in mind that you have? Because if you're dating with a purpose and if you're looking to meet your husband, like date number 2 to 3, or somewhere around like that fourth long phone conversation, you should have already found out, does he even want to get married? Does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah. So instead of thinking about when to tell him, when to let it be known, da 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 da, make sure that y'all are even on the same page as far as what y'all want. That are y'all both agreeing that it's casually dating? Are you both agreeing that you want your next relationship to be the last one that happens before marriage? Is it just to have like know why you're dating and all of that other good stuff? We're just going to let that be that. As far as some of those conversations and when to have them and how to have them, get the Getting It On ebook. Again, newthinglifecoaching.com, click on shop and go to books. Getting It On, it has so many things in there as far as when to have certain conversations, how to, kind of interact on dates and how to even get noticed, how to get a date, conversation starters, all of these different things. A lot of the results that men said, hey, if a woman does this on the first date or any date, I'm out. This is why I might ghost a woman. This is something that'll make me not want to, see her again or whatever. It has a lot of information and I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite books that I wrote, just being completely honest, but fantastic in my opinion. But hey, connect with me, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else, newthinglifecoaching.com. You can sign up to receive newsletters, information, stay up to date on products and services. Same thing with the ministry, www.thejalministry.com. Click on Saved and Single. You can subscribe to all things SaaS as it pertains to the ministry. So many different things. You want to chat? bit.ly/professional BFF. You can vent, we can talk, short advice without any no contracts and long-term, whatever else. Some of you are just like, hey, I just got a burning question. Can we talk? Absolutely. bit.ly/professional BFF. God bless you all. Take care. And I pray that you all have a happy Saturday. Talk to you later. Bye.